Big ups. Nice interview. Way to be careful. Coming up on the show, the latest reaction to NFL draft prospect Michael Sam's acknowledgement that he's gay, and a future Hall of Famer with a stern message. But we begin with college hoops.
You just watched it, Andrew Wiggins. He's been hot of late, averaging 19 in his last 5. But check this out. Doesn't look good at all for Kansas. They're down by 9. Look at the speed of Wiggins down the paint. Bill Self, note to self, we're down by 7. Inbounds pass. Nina Williams, no. Back the other way, down by 7. Brandon Green with the follow slam, and now Kansas down 5 with 90 seconds to go. Then Green gets the steal and puts it in. Suddenly, Kansas right back in it. They're down by 3. Wiggins for 3 in the tie. No! Again, doesn't look good for Kansas. 1 timeout left. Down by 4 now. Deer Tharp gets the roll. Now it's a 2-point deficit. Kansas still down 2. This is an unbelievable play. Wiggins misses. Looks like he's out of bounds. Somehow he gets back his own rebound in front of the rim, elevates quickly, and ties the game. Kansas State tries to get a last shot off. Doesn't happen. We head to overtime in Manhattan. 69-69. Again, what a play by Wiggins. Explosiveness to get that own shot. Would look like he was fading out of bounds. Overtime. Marcus Foster, high off the glass, and 1. Kansas State by 2. DJ Johnson. Kansas State great on the glass in the paint all night long. Now up by 3. Extending the lead to 5. Down by 4. Kansas gets it to within 2 points. Bruce Weber and his squad, as Andrew Wiggins misses the 3, block underneath, and Kansas State storms the floor and beats Kansas.
An assist, 7 rebounds. West Virginia routs number 11 Iowa 102-77. So here we are in the Big 12. Kansas now with 2 losses in the Big 12. Jayhawks just 1 game up in the loss column on Texas. Those 2 hook up one more time February 22nd at Kansas. Could this finally be the year Kansas doesn't win the Big 12? Brent Musburger. Let's go back to Manhattan. Brent Musburger called the game on the K-State upset of Kansas. Brent?
Stuart, is still a wonderful scene here in Manhattan. The student body storming the floor. They had lost 6 in a row to their rivals from Lawrence. They prevail here tonight. And just a short time ago, Holly Rowe was able to talk to Kansas State coach Bruce Weber.
Well, Coach Weber, you had a 7-point lead in regulation with a minute left. What happened?
Well, we made some bad decisions. Nino went in for the layup he shouldn't have. Shane's the smartest, one of our smartest players. He tries to throw it off the leg. We have timeouts and the jump ball. You know, we just made bad decisions. To their credit, they made some plays. We didn't get stops, but between the end of the game and overtime, I said, guys, you worked too hard. We got to get that. We'll hit a big shot. We got momentum back, and it was a good win for our guys.
There was a crucial point in this game. You got out with Marcus Foster's out. Shane Southwell's got an injury. How did you weather that storm without 2 of your best players?
Got to give credit to our bench. DJ Johnson and Omari Lawrence were big time. And we keep talking about next man up, and they've been next man up. They've made plays, so they'll enjoy it. It's a good win. We got to play Saturday, so it's not the end of the season.
Coach, this is the first time you have beaten Kansas since you've been here at Kansas State. What do you think of the win?
I don't have to hear when you're going to beat them anymore. We beat them, but it's a long way to go. It's now we're back in the top of the league. We got to stay there.
All right, well, you enjoy it tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. And the standings, and Fran, you've been talking about this all year. The depth in this conference is absolutely amazing. When you drop down and you notice that Oklahoma State, preseason favorite to win the conference, 2 games under 500. I think Stuart Scott said it right. I think that Texas and Oklahoma, they've got a shot to make a run here at the Jayhawks.
Well, they do. And let me just remind you of something else. Baylor, who's number 9 in the league, they beat Kentucky, and they beat a really good Colorado team early in the season. This league is good. What I thought tonight, Brent, this is college basketball. Kansas State got beat by 26, and Lawrence, when you come and play with energy and emotion, and your coaching staff prepares you, magic can happen. Tough loss for Kansas. They'll learn from this. Kansas State needed this win to stay at the top of the league.
Exactly that. And at the end of the game, folks, we said that the fans were on the starting line, and this was the scene. Watch somebody jump right off the scoring table to the middle of the floor as that three was drained. And Stuart, that's 2 overtime games in a row here for Big Monday. I don't know what's in store for us next week when we go down to Waco. Take it away, my friend. Southwell kicks, Gibson flushes.
That's what happens when you stop eating those donuts.
This is SportsCenter Live.
Forewarned, a furious Kansas comeback sets up an overtime thriller as rivalry week gets off to a wild start. What fan doesn't want to see King James in the dunk contest? See LeBron's sick display of rim rock and jams in Miami Heat practice.
The team was prepared to say, okay, if you attack Mike, you attack us.
After his historic announcement, here are Michael Sam's former coach and teammates at Missouri sound off in support. SportsCenter, let's roll. What's good? SportsCenter full throttle. Stuart Scott, John Butcher-Gross, and Holly Rowe coming on a table. Coming up on the show, the latest reaction to NFL draft prospect Michael Sam's acknowledgement that he's gay, a future Hall of Famer with a stern message. But we begin with college hoops.
Do we ever? Andrew Wiggins playing well of late, 19 points per in his last 5. The freshman getting more focused as the year progresses. In action against Kansas State. This would be a tough one. We know it's a huge rivalry game. And you see Kansas, they've done very well, though, at Kansas State of late. 15-17, boy, but the student body was into it. Game featured several star freshmen. Joel Embiid stripped inside. Kansas State comes back. Freshman Marcus Foster. Bang! Foster had 34 points in K-State's win over Texas on Saturday. Lettuce later again. And whoa, rim glass in. Foster hits another 3. Watch it again. Andrew Wiggins under 2 screens. That gives Foster plenty of room for the 3. We're tied at 29 at the break. Second half, Kansas makes a move early. Foster doesn't need a screen here. Squish. Another 3. Kansas State by 5. Under 13 to play. Up by 6. No on that 3. In transition, Andrew Wiggins catches, body control, hangs, and 1. Kansas down by 4. Foster goes to the bench with a cramp. Under 9 to play. Foster back in there, drives, turns it over, down hurt. Watch it again. Yo, you see it rolls that right ankle all the way onto the 4. He would return later. K-State gets a lift from an unlikely source. DJ Johnson, K-State by 7. Just over 3.5 to go. Up by 7 again. Pick, roll, Johnson, 7 points in the second half after Foster's injury. Average 3.2 a game coming in. Under 2 to play. Kansas does not look good. Down 9, Wiggins drives and scores. Now we're down 7. Next possession. Deer Tharp misses the layup. But Brennan Green put back Cram. Now they're down 5. And then look at this. A freebie. Steal. Lay in. Good. Suddenly, Kansas can't believe it. They're right back in it, down by 3, and the crowd is shocked. Next K-State possession. Foster drives. No. The other way. Kansas works it around. Wiggins to tie. Oh, my. Just glances off the rim. Not close. Now, K-State with a chance to ice this at the line, but they miss. Still just a 2-point lead. Here comes Wiggins now. It looks like after this miss, he is out of the play. Misses, fading away, but suddenly he's right back into the screen. The quick transition, the quick leap, and he ties the game at 69 in overtime. K-State down by 1 now. Wow, what an unbelievable move by Foster. Splits the D, draws the foul, and cans it. Led all scorers with 20. 2 minutes left now. Up by 2. Again, look at the strong work down low. Johnson with the putback. It's a 4-point lead. Wiggins will throw up a 3 with 14 seconds to go. Probably the right move to try to get it, but it doesn't go. And Kansas State will rush the court. Waiter, table, please.
Thomas, it's been so difficult to beat Kansas. How did you do it in overtime tonight?
We just came out and played hard, and we always talk about defense, and that's what we did. We competed for 40 minutes, and this is what happens.
It was actually longer than 40 minutes. How stressful was that in overtime
No matter how long it was, we competed, and we played like men, and these fans appreciate it.
The table's wobbling, but I want to ask you one more question. Your seniors, Will Spradling, and your freshman, Marcus Foster, how did everybody come up big?
Everybody came up big. Will made the free throws. I mean, Marcus made good shots, and everybody played well. It was a team effort.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm out. You need help?
I'm good. You go.
Oh, good stuff. Holly on the table. One potential concern for Kansas as we draw closer to the tournament could be that Andrew Wiggins waits too long to assert himself. That certainly has been the case of late away from Allen Fieldhouse. Over his last 3 road games, he's 1 for 14 shooting in the first half, with his only make coming on a half-court buzzer beater against Baylor. Seth and Jay, so we see
happy to be here.
We see the explosiveness of this young freshman, and obviously the great athleticism that he has late. What do you think is going on inside his head, and how he works within the framework of the team?
Well, I think the question of him being aggressive is one that remains. I think he is a passive player. That's just his demeanor. That's how he plays the game. He's great at scoring in transition. I did see something tonight that I really like, Seth. Also, you know, into regulation, he shoots an air ball. He had a wide open 3, shot an air ball. Yet the kid still had the moxie at the end of the ball game. You're going to see the tape right here. Wide open shot. It's his air ball. But the kid still possessed the moxie to take the final shot, you know, down the stretch. I mean, this is a big-time drive, and he doesn't use the backboard, but look at his ability to get back into play. I mean, that's so quick. I think when you see that kind of athleticism, I think that's where you remember this kid has such a high ceiling, potentially. But, I mean, Marcus Foster, he's another freshman that we have to talk about, because last time they played, he only had 7 points, and everybody was talking about Andrew Wiggins locking him up, but not tonight.
Freshman in the game today, Marcus Foster.
What about Joel Embiid? We didn't see much of him. What's Bill Self thinking as he tries to get this team to peak at the tournament? What's going on with this team, and what happened with Embiid tonight?
I think they lack a defensive personality. You talk about their team last year. You're talking about 4 fifth-year seniors and Ben McLemore, a McDonald's All-American. You replace those guys with freshmen, and quite honestly, they do not understand what it is to compete, to play hard, to get to the next play, to get to a 50-50 ball. Kansas State, they owned every 50-50 ball. Right here, you see Spradlin coming off that screen. You got to chase him, run him off the three-point line. Then on a switch, Embiid gets beat on that crossover. You've got to keep him in front. You're talking about a 7-footer trying to contain a 6-foot guard. I thought that Kansas State imposed their will on the game because they were just tougher. They played harder more consistently. But let's be honest. You have a group of young players. Do we really expect them to understand how to compete for 45 minutes? That is a process. The same thing's going on at Kentucky that's going on at Kansas. It's a process to learn how to play hard, to trust each other, and compete. The other thing is I don't think Kansas right now, you talked about Wiggins, I don't know if they have a lockdown defender, a guy that you can say, like, go take that guy out of the game. And they say, well, they did it the first time against Foster. I went back and watched that game last night. They didn't take Foster out. He missed shots. Tonight, he made shots.
Well, Kansas State now 5-2 this season against top 25 teams, including 2 straight. Thank you, fellas.
Jay Williams.